Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday, start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays, get the midweek boost you need. Sadhana Saturdays, dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better. In episode 21, we discuss Kleshas, mental states that are afflictions that cause suffering and cloud our perception of reality. It helps us discover our paths, strengths, attachments, could be alcohol or relationships, weaknesses. And we learn what our aversions, what we are resistant to help discover our kleshas. So I invite you to listen to episode 21 for more detail about kleshas and how it's a powerful way to discover your patterns. Today, we're going to look at kleshas a little deeper from a different perspective. Now that we know what kleshas are, let's look at them through the lens of the divine feminine with the wisdom of the womb to recognize the kleshas not only as afflictions but as gateways, mirrors that show us where the feminine soul seeks reconnection. Kleshas can be viewed as internal tensions that, when honored, hold the potential for healing and return to wholeness. I will invite you to self-inquiry and reclaim your divine feminine. Starting with the first one, avidya, ignorance. It's a disconnection from the womb. In the realm of the divine feminine, avidya is not merely a cognitive misunderstanding. It is a forgetting of the sacred codes encoded in our wombs, our innate wholeness, severing from intuitive truth and cyclical power. It is the loss of remembrance that the womb is not just a reproductive space, but a cosmic portal. When severed from this center, we become estranged from our intuitive voice, our cycles, and our natural wisdom of ebb and flow. Growing up, many of us weren't taught to trust our instincts or to honor our menses as sacred. Instead, we inherited scripts that led us to see our bodies as burdens. When we experience avidya, we often look outward for validation instead of inward for knowing. We internalize patriarchal narratives that cast menstruation as shameful, desire as dangerous, and softness as weakness. They are not just misunderstandings, they are soul wounds that block the sacred channel between the womb and the voice, the body, and the spirit. As you reflect, think about what ancestral, cultural, religious beliefs were you taught that veiled your connection to your womb and intuition. What were you taught to suppress? And how can you reawaken that connection with reverence? Reclaim your divine feminine by awakening your womb. This begins with listening, placing your hands over your belly and your womb and simply asking, what do you want me to remember? And receive the message with reverence and honor and gratitude. Listen. The second klesha, asmita, ego, is performing instead of belonging. The ego often creates masks to gain approval or survive social dynamics, especially under patriarchal expectation. The divine feminine does not perform, she embodies. Yet, under Asmita, we learn to trade our authenticity for approval, for performing womanhood in digestible ways. We shrink our rawness to fit into roles society expects. The polished, people-pleasing, perfectionist, or the person who is full of self-rejection. When we believe we must be good or strong to be loved, we sever from the sacred messiness of becoming. Instead of becoming ourselves, we strive to be accepted by others. Yet true sisterhood begins with radical self-acceptance. We must unmask ourselves to honor both the wild and the tender within us. We can reclaim our divine feminine within the ego by shedding the layers and being a part of the sacred sisterhood circle, a sacred sisterhood practice, inviting others to speak their truth that they've hidden, to keep the peace, and to honor each sister's voice as a sacred echo of your own as you two shed layers and share. The womb is not interested in how you appear. The womb is interested in how you feel. She wants you to feel. She wants you to know truth over performance. The third klesha, raga, or attachment, is grasping for validation. The divine feminine teaches that we are already full. But raga lures us into forgetting, tricking us into believing that our worth lies in beauty, approval, status, or identity. Our culture is filled with things that fuel us with messages of lacking. So we get caught up in seeking more. Raga may look like needing external validation to feel worthy, or craving control so we feel safe. We become attached to roles such as healer, mother, teacher. We forget that our worth is not conditional. We grasp because we've forgotten the infinite source within. The womb, when honored, reminds us that we do not need to chase nourishment. It rises from within. External validation is sweet but fleeting. Real power is rooted in our capacity to sit in emptiness without panic. So what external symbols of worth have you been clinging to? Ask yourself, can I soften into the emptiness long enough to hear my womb's voice beneath the noise? Reclaim your divine feminine by placing a rose quartz or your hand over your womb and whisper softly, I am enough. My enoughness is not a prize to earn. It is a truth to remember. The fourth klesha, devsha, aversion, is shame and repression, and this aversion often arises in our resistance to discomfort, shadow, or vulnerability. The feminine is not just a light, it is a shadow too. Devsha emerges when we reject parts of ourselves deemed unacceptable. We repress anger, sensuality, aging, or softness because we've been told they are dangerous, unattractive, or shameful. We recoil from these feelings of anger, grief, or aging because we're taught that those expressions are unfeminine. Devsha can shrink our world, keeping us from sacred transformation. Ask yourself, what part of your womanhood, aging, body, or story have you felt ashamed of? What parts of your feminine expression have been labeled as too much or not enough? And how can you honor it instead? How can you reclaim them as holy? To honor your divine feminine, offer your rage to the earth. Let your tears anoint the soil. She does not fear your shadow. She composts it into power. And for the fifth klesha, Ahinivesha, fear of death, fear of shifting or change. The womb is an original spiral temple. She births, she bleeds, she sheds, she renews. Abhinavesha grips us when we cling to old identities or resist life's natural endings. We fear aging, death, loss, menopause, not because they're unnatural, but because we've been disconnected from the sacred spiral of the feminine time. The divine feminine teaches us that death is not an ending, but a passage, a descent into the void where the new life gestates. This klesha can manifest as anxiety around natural parts of our lives. As our identities shift or relationships end, it's clinging to control and it's terror of surrender. You can reclaim your divine feminine. You can invite ritual during your moon time or dark moon. You can write down identities, roles, or beliefs you are ready to lay to rest. You can burn them, and as the ashes rise, you can say, I surrender to the spiral. I trust the descent. I am reborn through release. And you can reclaim your divine feminine as just sitting in the dark and lighting a single candle in front of your womb and breathe. Know that she thrives in the unknown and trust that rebirth follows every letting go. Embrace sisterhood. True sisterhood creates a mirror of healing. When we are seen in our rawness, not just our radiance, we begin to shed the armor of ego and illusion. We can create a Kleshas circle where women can gather to reflect on what they're releasing and remembering, and let this be a space of sacred pause, laughter, a space of tears, and a space of reclamation. Encourage honest conversation about how Kleshas show up in real life, at work and mothering and in relationships, and how the sisterhood connection alchemizes shame into power. And there are several womb-centered practices that you can evoke to transmute the Kleshas. You can begin with sitting in sisterhood, a sacred grounding ritual, sitting within your group in a soft seat with the spine erect, and begin with 3 cleansing breaths, and each sister placing one hand over her heart and one over the womb or energetic womb space, and just feel their breath as the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the rational and the intuitive. And softly whispering, you carry ancient wisdom in your body, and let your breath awaken what your mind has forgotten. And allow this to be a safe space where sisters can share and release and reclaim. You can also perform a Yoni mudra and breath, inviting everyone to bring the fingertips together, forming a downward triangle, a Yoni mudra at the womb, and guide each sister to breathe into this sacred space, imagining a soft golden light spiraling and clearing old narratives. The sisterhood can do moon mapping. Charting one's energetic rhythm alongside the lunar cycle allows women to notice fluctuations in attachment, aversion, and fear. When the sisterhood or circle does this around the charts of the moon, it helps us live with rhythm, not against it. You can prompt womb journaling, asking questions personally and within the circle. Womb, what do you know that I've forgotten? What do you need to feel safe and seen this month? This allows you to open a channel to divine guidance. And then you can also speak mantras to reclaim, speaking slowly, allowing each to land. I am not what I've been told. I am sacred, cyclical, and free. In my softness, there is strength. I release control and allow the divine to dance through me. And you can practice these reclamation, bonding, womb-centered practices within your sisterhood circle, or you may practice each alone. Either way, it's an opportunity to reclaim sacred harmony within the heart and the womb. I'd like to now invite you into a meditation of reclamation, to journey back to the self, back to sacred rhythm. Please begin by creating a soft, sacred space. You may wish to dim the lights, light a candle, or anoint your lower body with oil. Invite and embrace this as a homecoming. You can find a comfortable seat that allows your spine to be straight, or you may lie down, allowing your spine to lengthen or your body to soften completely into the support beneath you. Gently close your eyes and begin to breathe into your body. Long, slow, nourishing breaths at your own cadence and pace. Place one hand over your heart, the other over your womb. Whether you have a physical womb or not, the energetic womb space remains. Feel the warmth of your palms as they begin to bridge the heart and the womb, the space of creation, love, and power. With each inhale, imagine drawing a luminous stream of gold and silver light from the depth deep within the earth. The power of the goddess, its pulse spiraling up through the soles of your feet, into your pelvis, into your womb, and slowly spiraling up, rising up into your heart. Breathe this spiral of light, allowing it to breathe through you, earth to womb to heart, as you inhale, and heart to womb to earth as you exhale. Allow your breath to be soft. Allow the body to receive. Earth to womb to heart. Heart to womb to earth. Breathe. With each breath, soften. Allow the shoulders to melt. Let your jaw unhinge. Let your belly expand. Let the space between your womb and heart become a gentle, glowing pathway. Allow the body to shed. Begin to allow old stories to loosen. Stories that say you're too much or not enough. Stories inherited from grandmothers, mothers, culture, stories that whispered shame into your bones. Shed. With each exhale, release pressure, perfectionism, comparison, control. Shed. Let them drip down out of you, dissolving into the earth like petals returning to soil. With each inhale, welcome warmth, truth, womb wisdom, and the right to be exactly as you are. Now in your inner vision, begin to see a circle forming around you. You're standing barefoot on the earth, bathed in moonlight or the morning sun. You are surrounded with women of power and tenderness, your ancestors whose strength you carry, your soul sisters walking this path beside you, your future self radiant and fully expressed. Some may look familiar, some may feel archetypal, like the maiden, the mother, the crone, the wild woman, the priestess. Let them gather around you, holding sacred space. Feel their presence, their eyes on you, not with judgment, but with love. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are home. Feel your womb begin to pulse, throb gently or glow. She recognizes this circle. She remembers. She feels safe and secure. Now place both hands on your womb, tender and intentional. Feel her warmth. Feel her power. Repeat aloud or silently within. Repeat slowly and with reverence. I return to myself. I return to the rhythm. I return to the womb. Allow these words to sink deeply. Repeat them again as a personal mantra or vow. I return to myself. I return to the rhythm. I return to the womb. Let your breath move like ocean waves. Smooth, circular, infinite. Returning to myself. Returning to the rhythm. Returning to the womb. Let your being rest in the stillness of this return. Remain in this stillness for a few more moments, no rush. Allow your body to receive and let the womb continue her whisperings. Breathe Begin to slowly deepen your breath. Exhaling with an open mouth fully. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and begin to reconnect with the surroundings of the space where you currently are. Take a second deep breath in and now bring both hands to your heart. Bowing gently to yourself in gratitude for the journey as you exhale. Take a third deep breath in. Exhale as you open your eyes. Smile knowing you are not lost. You are layered, and every layer is sacred. It allows you to return to yourself. It allows you to feel and see the map that is written within your bones, your blood, and your breath. Release your hands to either side and continue to smile in gratitude. Womb wisdom invites us not to bypass these kleshas, but to meet them as initiation. Each one reveals where we've fallen asleep and where the divine feminine is ready to awaken within us. She doesn't demand perfection, only presence. She doesn't shame your mess, she alchemizes it. By returning to the womb, we remember our sacred rhythms, our cyclical intelligence, and our birthright to belong to ourselves. The path isn't linear, it spirals, and the womb knows the way. Remember, overcoming kleshas is a journey, and it's essential to be patient and compassionate with yourself along the way. Be kind to yourself. Kleshas can cloud judgment and lead to actions that perpetuate suffering and ignorance. Is there any particular practice or aspect of overcoming kleshas that resonates with you? By recognizing and addressing them, you can move towards a more peaceful and enlightened state of being. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.